Llangollen, a picturesque town nestled in the Dee Valley of North Wales, is a place known for its stunning scenery, its historic steam railway, and its annual international musical Eisteddfod. But on a sunny Saturday in June 1990, this charming town became the setting for a mystery that endures to this day, a mystery that began with a simple, handwritten note. Trevaline Evans was a 52-year-old grandmother, happily married to her husband Richard. She had recently fulfilled a lifelong dream by opening her own antique shop, Attic Antiques, on Church Street. By all accounts, Saturday, June 16, 1990, started like any other day for Trevaline. She opened her shop around 9:30 a.m. Friends and customers who saw her that morning described her as being in good spirits, relaxed, and even making plans to go out that evening. The weather was fine, and the town was bustling with locals and tourists. Around 12:40 p.m., Trevaline placed a note on the door of Attic Antiques, written in her own handwriting, reading, "Back in 2 minutes," something she would normally do. Those 2 minutes would stretch into an eternity. Trevaline Evans was never seen again by anyone who could definitively confirm her return to the shop or her subsequent movements beyond a certain point that afternoon. What is known is that shortly after leaving the note, around 1 p.m., Trevaline bought an apple and a banana from a nearby shop on High Street and was seen crossing Castle Street. It's believed she may have returned to her shop briefly, as a banana skin was later found in a bin there, though this isn't definitively confirmed as the banana bought that lunchtime. Her handbag, car keys, jacket, and some fruit and flowers she intended to take home were all found left behind at Attic Antiques. Her dark blue Ford Escort remained parked just 200 yards away. There was no sign of a struggle, no indication of theft. It was as if she had simply stepped out, fully intending to return, and vanished into thin air. The last confirmed sighting of Trevaline was at 2:30 p.m. near her home on Market Street, a short walk from her shop. After this, the trail goes cold, despite a few unconfirmed sightings later that afternoon. One of a woman matching her description walking out of town along the A5 towards Corwin, another near the Riverside Park. Her husband, Richard, who had been away renovating their holiday bungalow in Rutland for part of the week but was expected back, reported her missing around 11 p.m. that night when she failed to return home. The North Wales Police launched one of the largest missing person investigations in their history. Every household in Llangollen was visited. Over 1,500 names were checked, hundreds of cars logged and eliminated. Extensive searches were carried out, combing the River Dee, the Llangollen Canal, old mine shafts, and caves in the rugged surrounding countryside. Posters bearing Trevaline's photograph were displayed far and wide. Leads were followed, no matter how tenuous. There were reports of Trevaline being seen with a well-dressed man carrying a briefcase in the days leading up to her disappearance, and even on the morning she vanished. An artist's impression of this man was circulated, but he was never traced, and police later downplayed the accuracy or relevance of this sketch. Over the years, alleged sightings came from as far afield as London, France, and even Australia, but none were ever substantiated. Psychics and mediums offered theories, leading to searches of specific locales, but these too yielded nothing. The investigation explored various possibilities. Did Trevaline choose to disappear? Unlikely, given she left all her personal belongings, including her handbag and car. Did she suffer an accident or a sudden medical episode? If so, it's hard to imagine her not being found in such a well-searched area. This led police to the grim conclusion that she was likely abducted and murdered. In 1997, 7 years after she vanished, Trevaline Evans was declared legally dead. The case was officially reopened in 2001, hoping that advances in forensic technology might shed new light. Her husband, Richard, was arrested and questioned in June 2001, but was released without charge. He passed away in 2014, never knowing what became of his wife. Trevaline's son and brother have also since died, the mystery casting a long shadow over their lives. Despite periodic reviews, new appeals, and even television documentaries re-examining the case, including theories linking her disappearance to known serial killers, which police have found no credible evidence to support. The fate of Trevaline Evans remains unknown. No body has ever been found. No definitive suspects have ever been charged, and no clear motive has ever emerged. How does a well-known, well-liked woman, in the middle of a bright Saturday in a busy town, step away from her life for 2 minutes and never return?
8181.
This month's final reconstruction is a story of a woman's disappearance, but it's a case police now treat as murder. Trevaline Evans will be 53. Indeed, today's her birthday. But back in June, on a sunny afternoon, something extraordinary must have happened to her. Think back to June the 16th. England were playing Holland in the World Cup, and the Queen's official birthday was marked by trooping the colour. Were you in North Wales? If so, perhaps you can identify some of the people in our reconstruction, and indeed, maybe you saw Mrs. Evans.
Is this the sort of video you can put straight on the
machine?
Yeah.
My mother is very close to her family, and she had everything to live for, and I can't see her for 1 minute going away without telling anyone what she was going to do. And I think wherever she is, it's involuntary, it's against her will. So that's our main feelings, and that's why we're so worried.
Before she disappeared, she spent 3 days up in Rutherland in our holiday bungalow, which I was doing up or refurbishing, and she was very happy. You know, she liked working up there. She liked the garden.
Llangollen is at the heart of Welsh culture, home of the National Eisteddfod, and thousands of tourists come here every year. Trevaline had lived here all her life. A year ago, she bought this bric-a-brac shop called Attic Antiques in Church Street. Collecting was a lifetime's hobby, and this was the realization of a dream. Her slogan in the shop said, "I'll buy anything." And so she did, from locals, visitors, and dealers who were passing through. It's 9:15 a.m., 2 days before her disappearance. A local housewife was walking past the shop and noticed Trevaline in conversation with 2 men.
Hello. Come over and have a look. Got some nice bits of lace here. You're welcome to come in and have a look anyway.
What's thought to be the older of those 2 men was seen again with Trevaline next day. He was described by Susan Knight, who works in the opticians, as distinguished. And Olga Pedder-Roberts agrees.
Well, it was a Friday morning. I looked through the window and Trevaline passed with this man who was very well dressed, in a navy blue suit and a black briefcase. Trevaline waved, and I just thought how lovely she looked that morning.
That evening at 8:30, David and Irene Pond were driving home down Castle Street.
We pulled up at the traffic lights at the top of Castle Street at its junction with the A5, and we saw Trevaline standing in the doorway of the cafe.
She was standing in the doorway. She was stepping in and out with a piece of paper in her hand, looking down the street as if she was expecting someone to come up. But when I turned round, there was no sign of anybody. I kept looking at Trevaline, waiting to acknowledge her, but she didn't seem to see me at all.
It's now next morning, 10 o'clock on Saturday, June the 16th, the day that Trevaline went missing. Doreen Dolson's general store is just down from Trevaline's own shop.
Just get a pint of milk.
Love, 32 pence, please. She got in her purse, she got a wad of note out in her hand, and then she went deep in the purse to get the exact money out.
I'll be able to have a cup of coffee now.
I could just do with one.
Thanks.
Thanks, love. Bye. I was going to say to her, watch your money, but I didn't like because she thought I was rude or something, you know. And I didn't really say anything. She just gave me the right money, and then she says, I'll go now and have a cup of coffee, and I didn't see her again.
Soon afterwards, a friend, Christine Burdett, dropped in.
Hello. Coffee?
Oh, yes, please.
You smelt it.
I have a talent. Here, find a milk bottle for those.
Oh, they're lovely. I think I can stretch to a vase, though.
No.
It looks as though we've got an offer for the house in Market Street.
Oh, cheers.
So, an elderly couple, and they want to move in quite soon, I think.
That would be good, because the flat's almost ready, isn't it? I've been a close friend of Trevaline's for 11 years now. And she was happy, she looked fit, and she had lots of plans of things that she was going to do. I even popped back to the shop to remind her that we were invited to a party. And she was thrilled to be going, you know, and really wanted to go. There is no way she would have gone missing, that she would have gone away voluntarily. No way.
About 90 minutes later, 2 local men were driving down Church Street and saw Trevaline lock up her shop and walk down towards the A5 and the centre of town. If she ever left the shop, she'd always leave a message saying how long she'd be gone. In fact, on busy Saturdays, she rarely left for more than a few minutes. But as the afternoon drew on, several customers who took items from boxes on the pavement found the door was bolted and posted money through the letterbox. The shop was never to reopen. Did Trevaline go home? She was seen at 2:30 in Market Street, right beside her house, though no one saw her leave or enter. She was walking in the direction of her shop.
Hello.
Yet 5 minutes later, a woman like Trevaline was seen walking in the opposite direction on the A5, heading out of town beside the park which runs along the River Dee. And a few minutes after that, Marion Hatton saw a woman on a public footpath that leads up from the river. If that was Trevaline, why on a busy Saturday had she left her shop to walk down here? Then, just before 6, a woman driving up Church Street saw a man who looked to her suspicious standing outside Attic Antiques. She thinks the door to Trevaline's shop was open. When Trevaline's family came searching for her later that night, the door was locked. When eventually they got in, they found her compact open on the counter and her handbag still containing all her credit cards.
I think anyone could think about their own mother or their own father, and they know sometimes, you know, you can see things brewing up, but there is no way that she would go without saying anything. And, you know, we're just desperate to know what's happened, whether it be for the worse or for the better, but just to come to some sort of conclusion, because living like this is just terrible at the present time.
John Cook, you think this is for the worse? You think this is murder? Let's start eliminating some of the people we saw in that reconstruction. On the Thursday, that's the 14th of June, there were 2 people outside her shop, probably quite innocent, nothing to do with this. Tell us what we know about them.
Yes, very briefly. The first man, as you know, came from the tannery. He's the younger man, about 30 years of age, modern dress, wearing a dark suit with the sleeves rolled up, dark hair which appeared gelled. The older man was about 65 years of age, had grey hair, casually dressed, an aquamarine jumper with a paisley tie, and he was in conversation with Mrs. Evans.
OK, now the next day, that's Friday the 15th of June, isn't it? There was another man seen with her. It might have been actually one of the guys from the day before, we just don't know. But you've got quite a good description of this chap.
Yes, we have. It's possibly the previous man. Now, he's described as being very smartly dressed in a dark suit or a dark blazer, brown hair going grey, about 5'10", stockily built, and he was carrying a briefcase in his left hand.
A bank manager like, or an insurance salesman, I think somebody's put him, possibly an antiques dealer, and I gather you've got new evidence about this man today.
Yes, we have. Fresh evidence now suggests that the same man may well have been in Gale's Wine Bar in Castle Street, Llangollen, later that same evening.
Now, the day she disappeared, the evening after she vanished at 6 o'clock, was that chap seen with the car outside her shop. I should stress the witness isn't sure if the door was open or not. It might have been shut.
That's correct. The door may well have been open, but the witness is not sure. He was leaning against the car. She had a shoulder view only of him, and he was wearing what appeared to be a Macintosh with wide lapels.
OK, now if that was you, for heaven's sake, do ring us up. What else do you need to hear? What else can help with this inquiry?
I think it's most important to stress that this is a murder inquiry. We're aware that Mrs. Evans had a wide circle of friends, both male and female, and we urge them to ring us here and contact us, and we treat whatever they say with the utmost discretion.
OK, if you can help, here's the number: 081 811 8181. 081 811 8181. Or you can call the local incident room, that's 0492 518 383.
The antique shop on Church Street is now a private home. The note is long gone, but the questions and the quiet heartache for a family left without answers linger on in the Welsh valleys.